So now that we've gone over populations and samples, and then how we can summarize populations and samples using numerical measures like parameter and statistic, we are ready to take a look at the actual information that we're going to collect in a statistical study, and that's the data. Every data point that we collect is going to be linked to a variable, and the variable represents some character or attribute that we're interested in measuring. So let's look at the definitions. For the definition of data, we have individual values collected through observations. So when we look at data, it's going to be the actual list of information that we collect. A variable represents a characteristic or attribute that can assume different values. So this is the thing that we're going to be requesting information about in our study. Let's take a look at example 5. An app tracks hours of sleep for users over a month. So in this sleep tracking example, the variable is what's being measured. What are we asking that's going to change from person to person? In this case, it's going to be the hours of sleep. So for every person that we ask in this group, the hours of sleep is what's changing. That's our attribute or our characteristic that's being measured. So our variable is the number of hours that they sleep. The data is the actual values that we're collecting. It's going to be a list of specific hours slept each night by each of the app users. So think of the variables as the questions we're asking, while the data are the answers that we receive. So for this example, the choice for the answer would be B. Now let's look at example 6. We have a survey asks 1,000 drivers what car brand they prefer. So similarly, in this example, the car preference survey, the variable that's being measured is the favorite car brand. That's the question that's being asked, and that is what's going to change from person to person. That is the characteristic that can take on different values, such as Toyota or Ford or Honda. So that would be our variable. The data consists of the actual responses or the answers from each of those 1,000 drivers. So the list of the answers, which is the list of all the different car types, would be our data. So for this answer, we would choose B again. The data is the responses from each driver, and the variable is the favorite car brand. This example reinforces how the variables represent categories or measurements, and the data are the specific values that we observe and collect.